Hello everyone and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, where we're about to prove that I was right. Lance tried to kidnap himself. I was a little bit off on the motives, but that's alright. We got it. We're good. Tell us what you have to say for yourself. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time, but the kidnappers suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran from that room as fast as I could. All that is lies! Through an underground passageway, I presume. Are you okay? Sorry, I really don't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. How could you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor and because they're all like that. I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. There's a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little. Yeah, let's get this. Okay, that seems to add up. Can you tell us about when you were abducted in a little more detail? It was a strange morning. I felt like I was right in the middle of a great calm. And where were you when you experienced this calm? Our family garden, of course. Where else would it have been? Well, excuse me for asking. This child is more of a princess than a prince. Excuse me, princess. I was out taking a walk to shake off the morning blah. Then out of the blue, someone from behind clamps a hand over my mouth. You didn't see your attacker. They must have used some drug to knock me out, because before I knew it, I was off in La La Land again. When I woke up, I was in the kidnapper's hideout already, all tied up. It's a lie. By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape. Then you were in the same room as your kidnappers. They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely two people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. Time I heard rain falling outside. That doesn't make sense. The kidnappers disappeared. The room fell silent. To a sudden silence, I had been left behind like an unwanted mutt. Yeah, it's accurate. And what do you mean by unwanted mutt? What a pointless question. It's not like he's going to tell you anything new, you know. It's a poetic smile. You should learn how to use them too. Simile. Simile smile. You may look refined on the outside, but it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well. And those cuffs on your wrists, I suppose you are still cuffed in that case. I'm well aware of how I'm chained to reality. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner. How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked. Lies! No, it wasn't, which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. Remember our escape to be equally hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. Nope! Oh! I just figured out the motive! You say that the door leading outside was locked, but was it really? Looking at the evidence. That wasn't a love letter. That's why he needed the money. That's why this all happened all of a sudden. We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open, right, Sheena? Yes, that's correct. And take a look at this. What is that, a sword? It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by the sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I? I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I did not notice it. As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim, but you did not, in fact, possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own. You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. What would that be? A motive, what else? Do you honestly think that an upright pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself? Yes, I would. I thought he just wanted money, but now I know why. I thought he was just greedy. No, he is in trouble. Yep. Oh, no, not that one. To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is in fact a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh? Alright, I give up. Yes! I abducted myself. Lance. It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. No, you didn't. You're a sack of crap. I wanted us to be well off with that 1 million, but now that dream is over. No, you didn't. You were gonna kill them both. You were gonna kill one, have her arrested, and then you were gonna leave with the money. Oh, Lance. And you're giving yourself up? Yes, I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you. Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money, that's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the blue badger costume. The person an Officer Meekin saw was Miss Pops. It's a lie. But right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. But then Oliver put on a bad badger costume, took the suitcase with the $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. How did you know they were related? I still don't believe it. That person is not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father. Lolly, then it really was you. Nope. Nope, it was not. That man was not my father. I mean, just because at the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the 1 million in it. That badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot. The other person crumpled to the ground and I ran, scared for my life. Nope. I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you? Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was. Nope. If what she says is true, are you saying she's lying? Well, why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? To get that jerk? You'd be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Huh? Why is that supposed to mean? Oh, she did. Oh. What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. Okay. But it was. Please calm down and let's slowly talk through this. All you have to do is simply tell us what happened at the stadium. Leave it to us to search out the truth. Can you do that for me? Alright, so at the stadium... He's lying to us. That was the ransom money, wasn't it? Yes, that's how I was able to identify Mr. Deacon almost immediately. It was all thanks to what Lance told me. Yeah. And what did he tell you? Well, he called me on my cell phone and told me that Mr. Deacon had betrayed us and had run off with the ransom money. And about how he had a gun. No. Were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why would you try to shoot me? Do you really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true, my father's left arm was raised with a gun. No, it wasn't. Oh, she had the gun with the blanks in it. He played dead, so she does really think, she's not trying to protect him, she really thinks she did it. Went straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pops, please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. I think I do it. Dominant hand, right. I said from the beginning that that was the case. Objection. I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Then... The person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deacon. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. That's where the second costume came from. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun in was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like this? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? And again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in a court to catch it. Enough with the smugness, out with it already. Miss Pops told us earlier. There's a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the 1 million in it. According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops? Yes, exactly. I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face. But if that's the case, even I can see there's a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the Bad Badger, yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. Nope. Both are correct. They are both correct. Impossible. That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Pop's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if that Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both of his hands. Oh, the head! Right, the costumes have two parts to them, a head and the body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Pop saw was probably really the head of the Bad Badger. However, is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. Was it the... It'd be the proto-badger, right? Because she was the blue badger and it wasn't her, so it would be the proto-badger. Oop. Not exactly. Well, what the heck is it? It's the proto-badger. Yes, and it's a simple... That's not where I was aiming for, but whatever. Yes, it's a simple matter of a process of elimination. If Miss Pops was wearing the blue badger costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the pink badger is of the wrong color, which should have been incredibly obvious. All that's left is the proto badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the proto badger costume? That would be Lance. Are you saying what I think you are? The Lance Amano donned the bad badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon, yep, and played possum. On top of which he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing. Nope. The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim, it was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have done to do all that, huh? There's but one reason. Lance Amano, you are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No! That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? He's left-handed. I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand. Ha! Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing, and besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the proto-badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right? Now, the prop gun. Of course, logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. The missing model gun. We found one half of Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Yes. Miss Pops, where's the gun you use now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I'm right is very high. Okay, let's pretend you're right, and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please wait a sec. It's simply not possible, because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. You saw the victim in the state of being restrained. Lies! I came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. That's why the badger... No, he didn't. That was us! You didn't see him. You didn't... No, I got it. That's why that was there. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right? No, because we were in that room next door. We thought it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Oh my God, guys, we're closing in on the end. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pops saw the victim with her own eyes. Which means that the victim was still alive at the time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. Yeah, we got this. We got this. I came back to the hideout long after the other two. That's fine. When exactly did you arrive back at the hideout? It was after we picked up the ransom money. And where were you up until the time you returned? I was scouting the park out and making preparations for our escape. I walked out around in the various areas looking for the best route. So each of them had their own roles to play. After I was done, I went back to the hideout. Nope.
Hold it!
How did Lance look at that time? He looked shocked. He also looked a little down. When I saw that sadness in his eyes, Thank you, that's enough for now. And what of Mr. Deacon? What was his situation like? That was us, and that's why there was a blue badger head in our room. You're sure that it was Mr. Deacon you saw? Yes, I'm certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul. Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. That just had to be Mr. Deacon. Nope, she saw a bad badger head. Nope. The captain, so I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon. Nope. So they tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his bad badger costume. Yes, and? It would appear that she misread the whole situation. What now? Should I raise an objection? Yes! The person you saw was not the victim. What? Why not? I will tell you why not with this. This, Miss Pops, shows us the person you saw was not the victim. Is it the bad badger head again? Right? Discovered in the isolation room, yup. Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh. The person you actually saw was this person. Miles Edgeworth. It was me. Huh, the person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth. I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I had handed over the ransom? Yeah, we got him! It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? That's... You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with the bad badger's head on. And then you made your costumes escape together, or so you pretended. Huh, what do you mean, he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the bad badger head from my unconscious self. Yeah, we got him! And to create his fake prison with the prop sword, he then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot coming out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and a subsequent detainment. All that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right, you were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. How do you know that? Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would still have seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I don't go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, it would seem that you can't prove a thing. Wait, what? Who said that? Please wait. Mr. Romano. Oh, Miles, my boy. It looks like you've really giving it your all. And Lance. It's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad. Let's see, you are the one in charge of investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh, do you now? Is that what I think it is? It's the bad badger costume the victim was wearing, and a gun. I couldn't wait around for the police. I went and found these myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Is there no one in this country who actually obeys the law? Not that I've seen. There, now. Agent Lang, please calm down. What the heck is that scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Romano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The Chief of Police? What the? Just who does he think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in this area. Oh, there. Now, there's no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound to the laws of your country.
No. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. I can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found the evidence, its value remains unchanged. Alright, now let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. I had a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conduct the tests. They verified that the blood in this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they can find were yours, Lauren.
He's covering. No, you seem so good. I get it. You don't want your kid to go to jail. He's gonna go to jail for a long time, though.
What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache.
Oh, I feel bad for him.
Thank goodness I was able to find the final piece of evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around.
That's it? These are the case-making pieces of evidence? Ha! I'll be the judge of that. I won't rest until I've inspected every last suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Oh my god, I can't tell if we're at the end. All right. I'm gonna put a clock on this. 5 minutes. And that's just it. Wherever we are, that's it. That's it. If we haven't made any progress, that's where we're gonna wait. This bullet hole. It kind of burnt around the edges. Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is a most important fact. Why is that? Because it is proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? Revolver data, okay. No? Is that it? Oh, wait. What's this? It looks like there's something inside the costume head. Hey, that sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror, but why are they in here? Mirror fragments. There was that broken mirror in the room. Wait, I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
Well, are these not the most definitive piece of evidence you've ever seen?
Thank you, Dad. That should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Don't buy it. All right. Oh, shoot. Is this the end, though? Go a little bit longer. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun, and they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. Nope. Fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh, no, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes punishment for her crimes. Maybe all you can do, however. I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wound me. Why won't you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence? Oh, I'm so sad that the old man is lying. No. Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Pops?
There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I had the best forensics techniques money can buy performed.
I find that to be a bit peculiar.
What? Are you trying to pick on an argument with me?
What should I do? Should I raise an objection? No, I don't want to make him mad. Yeah, I want to raise an objection. Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Pop's prints should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Pop's print shouldn't be on that gun is she wasn't in the Bad Badger costume. Which one do I present, though? Maybe it doesn't matter. It's simply not possible for Miss Pops to have left any prints on the murder weapon, because while she was at the stadium, Miss Pops was wearing a costume. Huh.
But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints.
Oh, Miss Pops, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Yes, as a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back at the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Miss Pops' prints found their way into the gun. Do you understand now, Mr. Amano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Pops is the murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh, Lance. What? No way. I'm incredibly worried about her. No, you aren't. But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Miss Pops killed the victim at the stage in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. Yep. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. Is it the costume itself because it was at point blank range? Let's take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you'll see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it. It's the bullet hole, right? The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point blank range. So you mean that the murderer, Miss Oldbag, saw at the stadium really was... Yeah, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn.
Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is then?
Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. And that location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was imprisoned was... Yeah, the fun house. Oh, I got it. I know the real scene of the murder. The real location in which Mr. Deacon was killed is here. I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house.
The haunted house?
Yes, and I have proof that it is highly likely the victim was killed there. What proves that the real scene of the crime was the haunted house is our mirror fragments.
Got him!
These are inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror.
Mirror? And what does that have to do with anything?
Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, it's actually pretty dangerous. However, there is one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance Amano, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with the revolver in that haunted house. After that, you stole the Blue Badgermobile to move his body to the Wild Wild West area. The timing of when the Blue Badgermobile was stolen confirms this as a fact.
Miles, my boy, say no more.
I'm sorry, Mr. Amano, but I cannot do that.
Be quiet. Yes, please, do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense. Ernest Amano, correct? I mean you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you? I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. And to call these mirror bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Sheena, wasn't there a mirror in that kidnapper's hideout?
Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for that haunted house.
You see, isn't it possible that the fragments got into the costume there?
But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low.
Probability? Lang Ji says, on Truth's Past, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does is definitive proof. The question, Mr. Prosecutor, is do you have the definitive proof you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See, so since you don't have any, shut up. I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at the haunted house besides myself were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. Hi, Mr. Edgeworth. Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah. I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted, but you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. Doesn't matter by who or how it's done as long as it is. Sheena! I'm here. Put it in paperwork for the authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval. Who was that? Let's hold on for a second. There's no need to obtain approval. Mr. Romano. Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this. What is this? Sheena? It's the deed to the haunted house. The deed? Read it out loud. Gatewater Land Inc. hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Romano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full in cash. What? No, as you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house. And he's not going to let us in there. Are you kidding? When did you? I ran into the owner of the park earlier and we made a deal almost immediately. How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye. The $1 million you paid? Don't tell me it was. Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now. You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier, so I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things with me from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? Ooh, I permission to enter the haunted house, of course. Ooh, while we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Romano was out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Mr. Romano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever. No! To be continued? What? Oh my god, 40 minutes. We got nothing. Alright, I know, actually, it was pretty good. Alright, we're gonna call it here. I'm gonna have to pick this up in the next episode. What? What? He knows. He knows. Oh, that sucks. I feel a little bit bad for him, but man, he is really screwing us over. I hope you guys are looking forward to the end of this as much as I am. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.